I found that the customer keen on me when they have top problem in digital transformation, where they need a single voice. There's so many noises and confusion in opinion in their company, and that's where I make my position in the customer thinking. And so I move into digital transformation, no matter where it is relevant to marketing, to communication, to branding, or to business operation. And recently, e-commerce. I just found that digital transformation is the thing that I've been moving and preparing for so long for, and that's how I come to digital transformation business then.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the CTO Show by TechVibe, a go-to channel for aspiring tech leads. Today, our guest is Kevin Doan, an expert in online reputation, crisis management, and marketing digitalization, with 18 years of extensive experience in managing large-scale projects and teams up to 1,000 people locally and internationally. Kevin has driven initiatives that ensure customer satisfaction and success. Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for the opportunity, and nice to see everyone right here.
Thank you. I would like to start our conversation touching the digital transformation. I know this is the area that you work with. Why digital transformation? Why this is area that interests you?
That is a long story, since I've been working for more than 22 years, and it comes to me very naturally, but in a long journey. Let me guide you through that. I started when computer science started to be popular, the world software engineering, and I just find the PCs very interesting, where I can do anything and so many things. And then I lead the way into a software engineering firm in Irvine, California, where they picked me just because of my communication skills. And they teach me to be the very first business analyst in Vietnam. Along the way, we come to 11 September, where the two airplanes hit the World Trade Center in the States. Suddenly, everyone lose their job. And the company I was working for just sustain essential people for essential position, where I find multi-discipline might be the better chance to stay with the job, whilst the whole industry lose their project and people lose their job. Then that's where I start into a multidiscipline journey. I then found that software engineering just can help with the base. I want something more fun, where I can tell the impact of things that I do into business and get popular on the news, etc. Then I see more digital marketing is an interesting area. Then I start to find the way move into there. That's where I work in a marketing strategy company, then a branding company, then another digital agency, and one among the agency I work for is a very famous agency in Brussels, that is Happiness Brussels in Belgium, and they won a lot of Cannes. Within that, I have the opportunity to involve into several projects that was listed and have Cannes Award. Then I start to think, is this everything? And I found that the digital landscape was moving very quickly. It started with platform, then analytics, then data start to evolve, and now the AI. Then I keep myself very interested into those and keep learning and practicing. After a while, 8 years ago, I see that I know almost every discipline relevant to marketing and technology. I think, so what's next? I start to think about making my own business. And that's where I was now with Revitalize Asia and Digitize Asia. And I found that the customer keen on me when they have top problem in digital transformation, where they need a single voice. There's so many noises and confusion in opinion in the company, and that's where I make my position in the customer thinking. And so I move into digital transformation, no matter where it is relevant to marketing, to communication, to branding, or to business operation. And recently, e-commerce. And I just found that digital transformation is the thing that I've been moving and preparing for so long for, and that's how I come to digital transformation business then.
Sounds great. You say that having the trust of the customer in the noisy environment is the first thing. And what other things you consider as challenges for transformation in marketing in particular?
Basically, marketing belongs to the social science area, and digital or technology belong to the natural science, and there's a gap among those. They need somebody who can combine both together. And so business owner normally come from a business development perspective, and they are more marketing than technology. They have a very different mindset. Normally manipulation everyone, everything, every factor that they have in a very clever way to make it works for the business. However, technology is not directly as a efficient tool to do that. In order to use technology to do those kind of things, they need to know platform, they need to know how to read the data, and they need to know how to use them, read them, and to understand the customer insight and put together a lot of touch points to reach, persuade, and convert the consumer. So the initial mindset of a business leader is normally different than what digital transformation can really do. Basically, they just want something easy that can manipulate everything, which is an approach that digitalization or digital transformation cannot help with, I think. So normally, the first challenge they have to fight the top leader on the way to think that digital or technology might help them to transform in marketing. The second thing is technology people. They tend to think about digital transformation and digitalization as platform, but they have less into how to use it to manipulate, to understand consumer insight or their behavior during the consumer journey. So it's a science, it's a social science, psychology. So in order to use technology to certify that, technician, developer, technical people, they need to really learn what marketing is really about before they can do it. So changing their mindset and changing the approach using technology into marketing by understand the real work or approach that marketing usually do toward the consumer is the key. The third thing is people, no matter what they're doing, they want a very easy and convenient way. Wise transformation is not really about using the tool or using the data, but it's about transform the way we're working. And dealing with that is the toughest challenge that I've been meet through our project as well.
Yeah, I personally feel also that the work business and creative people with technology people are extremely challenging. Maybe it's the mindset you said, and maybe this is that actually the creative people forget that developers, engineers are also creative. They also create things from scratch, right? So do you agree that actually that's the main reason that tech people need to understand the business goals and the whole product that they are building?
Yeah, I do think so. If you want digital transformation to happen in the right level of efficiency, yeah, because that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
People have to reach there, no matter to where they come from.
Yeah, thank you very much. we said about challenges. Let's talk about something more positive. Can you give us an example of positive transformation in marketing that was driven by technology? Any examples, any particular cases that you remember?
Okay, a case study that I was involved with. One among Rebutai Asia's client is MM Mega Market. Yeah, they acquired the business from Metro, the B2B retail business in Vietnam. And Metro used to be very famous in the world, but with traditional retail, which means they have their airport, they have offline places where people come and buy. In 2019, in the second quarter, we won the job of putting together an integrated e-commerce system called Click and Get for Mega Market. And the tough thing that make nobody want it until we involve is every vendor, they quote for a big amount of money, from 5 times to 10 times beyond our quotation. And they ask for more than 1 year to put it together. We come in, accept the whole challenge from Mega Market to build it at a much lower price and have it ready in 1.5 months. So 45 days. Building an e-commerce system in 45 days is not a challenge to technical people, I think. But how to integrate it into the existing offline operation, which is already big and complicated from MM Mega Market, is really the challenge. So in order to do that, I have to work, and I come and put that problem very clearly to top leaders in marketing department that we have to work together in a very efficient way. Within 3 days, we have to drive the approach on together, how to integrate e-commerce into your current retail. Fortunately, I had the chance to meet very knowledgeable and capable people, and they agree with that approach. We work together in 3 days, we make the whole process. Put in away things that might take time, put in away complicated things that might prevent us from achieving the goal in 45 days. And then we come up with a process that is light enough, feasible, and can be implemented within the time frame, also can meet the business goal. And after 45 days, we work every day from 8 till midnight. But we work very efficiently, and everybody follows the plan very well, and we come up with the platform with on data within there. Start to run from day 31 and fully operate at day 45. Then, in September, COVID pandemic comes. And we have 6 months with the e-commerce platform operation until the COVID pandemic. And we just found ourselves very lucky because, during COVID pandemic, offline retail become very, very tough. People cannot meet, and there's time in Vietnam. People cannot go anywhere. Then online is the only way where they can buy things, and they buy food and necessity. And that's all about what Mega Market Vietnam sell. And suddenly on the 20 channel, offline channel from Mega Market have to close. They sell during the COVID pandemic. But the company fired almost no one. They have job enough for people to do because we can sell online, and online sales is good enough to sustain the whole business throughout the 3-year COVID pandemic without firing anyone or closing any entity. So that's a great achievement. And Mega Market Vietnam marketing team and e-commerce team get recognized by the headquarters, and they send those people there receive the award. And that's a very good example that is up to date to me throughout the COVID pandemic, how transformation can help with marketing and e-commerce.
Amazing case story. I honestly believe that delivering technology fast is a key factor, but this combined with the amazing target, 45 days, and the fact that you managed to deliver before the closure of the country,
Yeah.
that's the whole story is amazing.
I think top management they sense that and know that because there's people who anticipate the bigger picture in the long run. But the key thing is I cannot do it without mega markets seamless collaboration to develop a process of integration that works for e-commerce using the existing retail operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my thought, this moment goes directly into partnership versus vendor-client relation. Like this is the key, right? This is the biggest factor that
Yes. That's exactly what I mean. Digital transformation is not something that the vendor do it 100%, but it's a very, very seamless collaboration between the service provider and the client itself, I think.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Our audience is mostly consisting of aspiring tech leaders, future CTOs, and they are extremely interesting in cases like yours. You have managed extremely large teams, impressive. Can you share your approach to managing large teams, like as I said on the intro, up to 1,000 people? What's your style for managing this?
Let me be clear on that. 100,000 people is in an offline project that where we manage the promotion goals for Diageo in Vietnam. So in the project, we have almost 1,000 promotion goal in every modern trade outlet or entertainment place, introducing Johnny Walker's product. And it's another realm where those promotion goals, they are very smart, and they know how not to appear at the working place. And to 1,000 people working in different times over different places is very tough. And in trade marketing, we have a secret shopper, we have a secret supervisor, and many tools so that we can find out. But I think it's less relevant to the topic today. So let me talk about another situation where we work on a project for Microsoft Retail in China. It's another e-commerce project where I used to work with in the same company for that. We have almost 250 people in that project. The problem is we use a e-commerce technology that require Java for developers. And it's tough to find good Java developer in Vietnam because we heard that half of Vietnamese Java developers are hired in Singapore by best company right there. And consequently, we have around 80 within our company. We have another 25 in another vendor in Vietnam where we hire their people. We have on the rest in Shanghai, we have in Hong Kong, we have it 3 play in China. And we also hire Germany for business analysts and some project manager from there. And we have people from Spain, we have people from English speaking country. And so I was managing a mix of people like that. The problem is they come from varied kind of background and different level of fluency and quality working on the project. And the project itself is also a nightmare because they have a very tough deadline, even though it's 12 months. But normally, a project like that would need 3 years. And we pick a technology which is really heavy to e-commerce, that is hybrid, and it was developed in Java. And Java, at the time, would require people to work much more to build something that really works. And that's where on the workload become very huge, complicated, and painful as well. You imagine the team have to work overnight, 3 days a week. And that's where I have this class. Okay. And everything become very tough. Even the biggest boss, they feel very desperate and hard to catch up with. And on the company see a very low possibility and very high risk. So how to manage people through those tough situations in a very big kind of project, the most important within an enterprise like the company we was working for. Number one, we have to find a way to bring everything into a standard. So they are at different places, different working environment, different time zone. So process is the thing where we put people to work on the same thing. Number two, integration. Integration is where we get the output from those people, stay in various places with different kind of levels into one single product that work together. So we focus on integration. And the CTO back there, we have an agreement that we focus on daily build. That's the only way. Increase the frequency so that we can detect on the problem with integration. For the process, we focus on communication. And top leader have to jump everywhere where there's an important communication to check with project manager, with program manager, and with various level of technical people, so that hopefully we can detect deficiency or discrepancy where communication come from. I have a situation. I was a PMOD, which means I lead the operation of the whole enterprise for every project. But since the challenge of that project, I have to jump in and act as a project director. I work with program manager and work with project manager, and I apply those two key management discipline so that I can normalize the difference within such a different situation. But that's not all. People was very desperate. They were very tired, and they start to yell. They start to shout at each other. They start to get a very positive, negative mindset against everything. So the third thing that is very decisive to the success of that project is I need involvement of the highest leadership within the enterprise. So I come to those guys, I tell them, the team is very desperate and we don't have sufficient quantity and quality of people that we need. So we need you to be right there to consolidate that we live and to make sure that they have on the kind of backup within this company. That's why I ask them to come. They ask them to bring things that they need, and I tell them when to come and what to do. And they just drop in once or twice per week, but in weekends, giving the team what they need. And then I talk to the team to make sure that they feel positive about those kind of thing. And I just keep doing it like that during the 12 months. The fourth thing is we have to be hands-on. Even though it's a big enterprise, but the project situation is very tough. And if you don't have a detailed look into any problem, the solution might not be appropriate. So 2 days, 2 nights per week, I stay with the team. Sometimes I stay with a technical leader. And the technique that we use to work with the team is telling funny story and chit-chat on things that are interest so that we keep them awake until midnight. And when I did it, I have to say it's very tired. It's very painful. And there's time when I finish my funny story, I just fell off and I sleep one way until the morning. So it's very tough, but that's the fourth thing that I've been doing to sustain the quality and the delivery. Finally, we can deliver it with compliments from Microsoft.
Congrats on that. This is your experience on the big scale project, but how much it difference from the small scale, the first moments of the startup? Do you feel that it's different or it's actually the same?
Yeah, it's different.
Is it different?
The list of discipline that we use in management or the style, we have to apply it here and there, depending on the situation, but the priority and the extent is much different. I started Revitize at a small enterprise 8 years ago, and at the beginning, it's just like a startup. I had to find a way for the business to get along, alive, and then to get into a lot of success. So at the beginning, we have to do everything. So hands-on is the very first thing, right? Yeah. Rather than different than the other, hands-on is number 3 and number 4. But right now in a startup, hands-on is the very first thing. I have to do everything, you know. There's time, there's project that I start at a CTO, then the technical architect, then developer, both front end and back end, and then the designer, and then the copywriter, and then the strategic planner, and then the creative people, and the advertisement guy who set on the ad and then start to bring it to the customer. So I do everything at the same time. I train people. There's 2 different approach. You pick someone who is strong, you make them fit into the picture and keep them motivated in a new startup, right? I just see it not appropriate because the kind of business that I have is very personal. I start on my own. There's no financial investment or any plan. So I kind of see that approach is not appropriate. So I pick people who are young, thirsty, need a job, want success, and then I train them. To me, somebody who is capable, it's harder to change their mindset. Then you pick someone, it's easier to train them to be a stronger people, but you can control the mindset and make sure that it's compatible with what you're doing. So I choose the second option, working with young, but very, very ambitious people and develop them. After 8 years, I have a lot in my company. That's the second thing. The third thing, in order to do for a startup to get further, you have to make sure that every single step has a certain extent of success. Else there will be no cash, no customer, and the team will get demotivated. So then I need a very clear view, but in a much smaller scale upon strategic planning. I need to see what is the next step, and I have to imagine it most of the time. Unlike in enterprise, we have on the number, we have on the case study, we have historical data, but in such a startup, I have nothing, and I have to imagine it. Fortunately, the experience helps a lot. So most of my imagination and put together into a bird view oversight to plan for the future of the company in 3 years works and get along well up to 80%. So only 20% of my anticipation is not right there. And the final thing is about talent management. It's all about people to a startup, right? So the key thing is how long you can keep those talent, and I want to keep them whole life with the startup. So how to do it? I need to solve this puzzle in management that how can I provide them the best kind of benefit, even in comparison against the biggest kind of enterprise for their career, so that they can stay. So what are they? Being their teacher, being their enabler, which means what they can do, you have to do it. Being their financer. There's people I have to give them a very big loan to buy lands or house when they need it for the family. And I have to keep doing it. And I have to manage my personal financial plan so that I can do it. So, and also make sure that they know that how long they can get further. And I was willing, if I find, and if somebody suddenly becomes very bright in their involvement, I'm willing to give them a bigger share in the company as me. And I have to manage my own expectation that I want to be a smaller owner of something that is bigger than me. than hold 100% of something that is smaller than me. So that's in my manage the talent and how to keep them along with the company. And those things is what I do in priority for a startup. And that's what I think people should focus on to make sure that an initial start for a new startup, I think.
I must say it's a very impressive approach. I haven't seen it much in Asia, what you said, that you believe in the people that are with the potential that can take heavy roles, and then you give them the support that you said. I'm impressed. And
I learned it from other companies that I've been working for and from other founders, I think. Yeah.
Then you are lucky and your team is lucky, no doubt. Thank you very much. The final section of CTO show is the set of simple questions that we ask the same questions to each guest, and we just look for a simple answer. Let's start with one about your favorite tech tool or app that has improved your productivity at work.
Okay, Google Calendar. So it's simple. There's a lot of people and a lot of things going around me, and now there are a lot of business as well. So the key thing is how you can manage the way you're working to people. And my calendar is always full with from 6 to 10 activities per day. So it's very easy to forget if you don't have a tool to help with that. And I don't have even sufficient time to type them in, right? Or to make my memo. So I make it in very simple way. People who was assigned a task, or I'm assigned that to them, I ask them to create a to-do item in Google Calendar. People who have an appointment with me, I ask them to send me a meeting request. And that's where I manage my working schedule along the way. And I just find it very...
I'm with you on this. I'm with you. But I need to say that you, as with the past Microsoft, you still prefer Google tool, right?
Yeah. We pick the best cap tool. That's the point about the world today, right?
Yeah, we pick, both of us pick the same.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is, what profession you will be pursued if not your career path, that it's your part? What else you think now that you could do when you were a young person after the studies?
Right now, I'm working at a CEO or a entrepreneur. If it's not about business, then I want to be a farmer.
Wow.
Yeah. After you achieve in your business, what's next? How you spend the rest of your life and how you spend your money. So after all, I think health is what people need, right? Longevity, happiness. And I just find it very natural in the farmer's life where you move and you work using the whole body every day. It makes you strong enough and no need of gym or any other exercising, right? Living in the farming area, you have a very good environment. And number 3, you live a very simple life. Yeah, that's where I find my happiness. And right now I'm leading the way right there as well.
Yeah, envy you then. And I agree. So thinking about how our bodies are built, we are made to it, right? So work hard on the land, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. The last 3 questions are very generic, so please give us answer as you think suits you the best. First, what are you the most grateful for? In general.
Could you repeat that? I think,
what are you most grateful for?
It's not relevant to the career, but it's about belief. I'm grateful in the Lord because I've been through on the logic in the world. I've been working with different kind of people, and I was paying no attention to religion at the beginning. But after I get through on the thing, I think in Christianity, I'm a Christian. On the logic was writing in the Bible is the superior kind of logic that I see in life. And everything I did in life in order to get the problem resolved or get successful, it go toward what was written in the Bible. So that's where I just find myself very naturally. I don't train, I don't go to the church very often. I'm not a good Christian, but I just see that there's a seek, get into my life because I read the Bible, and then I have the tendency to think toward things that I know, I think, and then I see how powerful this is. And that's where I feel very grateful for.
Thank you very much for your personal answer.
Yeah.
I respect it very much.
Thank you.
Next two questions are more into business area, and they're almost the same, just with a different direction. What's the best advice you ever get?
Working hard. I have a point of view that I always challenge people about. Before Christmas, there's a scientist. He's famous because the story that he was taking a bath, then he jumped out of the bath plate and run around naked in the city and say, Eureka. So Archimedes, and he was working when he was taking a bath. Is it hard enough? In the modern world, how's about Steve Jobs? He died when he was still working, right?
Yeah.
And you know Warren Buffett, he's 94 right now.
94, yeah.
But he's still running his company, right? He's working actively. So I see in common, smart people or much less smart people might be successful. But the common thing is they all work very hard and passionately, right? So I received from them the very good advice, I think, very useful for my life, that you're working hard. It's an essential part of success. So that's
Thank you. Thank you. And just final thing, the worst advice you ever get?
Working smart. I saw a lot of smart people derail because they think that they're smart and they're not working hard enough. Is Steve Jobs a smart guy? He's very smart, right? I read from a story in here that investor kicked him out of the companies many times, but have to put him back because nobody is smart enough to make the product get more advanced than him, right?
Yeah.
But he worked till die. When he died, right?
Yeah.
And Warren Buffett, he take an hour, a lot of money for people who get his consultation, right?
Yeah, still.
But he still work until 94 if he want to achieve. So working smart is necessary, I think, but it's not enough. Then just receiving the advice, be smart. It's not enough to get successful. And I think it's the worst advice. So I would rather tell people to work hard without telling them to work smart.
To achieve the success.
Yeah, to achieve.
Thank you very much, Kevin. We really appreciate your valuable insights, and we encourage our audience to follow Kevin Doan on social media to see his work and beyond. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure, and thank you.